Let some people come in here. Start saying some words so that way AI starts sending it to people. We're reading Luke 15. Or Luke 14, because it's the 14th. The idea being, let's wait for some people. Hello. Reading Luke chapter 14 today, reading one chapter of Luke every morning. And one chapter of Luke every morning until Christmas. Say that again when somebody, hello. All right, so what we got, we're doing one chapter of Luke per day until Christmas. And idea being, we started during the beginning of the month, and that gets us the whole story by the time Christmas Eve rolls around. So Luke 14. Let's see. All right, I'll probably start reading this soon. All right. Now it happened as he went into the house of one of the rulers of the Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath, that they watched him closely. And behold, there was a certain man before him who had dropsy. And Jesus answering spoke to the lawyers and Pharisees, says, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath? They kept silent. And he took him and healed him and let him go. Then he answered them, saying, Which of you, having a donkey or an ox that has fallen into a pit, will not immediately pull him out on the Sabbath day? And they could not answer him regarding these things. So he told a parable to those who were invited, when he noted how they chose the best places, saying to them, When you are invited by anyone to a wedding feast, do not sit down in the best place, lest one more honorable than you be invited by him. And he who do not sit down in the best place, lest one more honorable than you be invited by him. And he who invited you and him come and say to you, Give place to this man, and then you begin with the shame to take the lowest place. But when you are invited, go and sit down in the lowest place, so that when he who invited you comes, he may say to you, Friend, go up higher. Then you will have glory of presence for those who sit at the table with you. For whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. Then he also said to him who invited him, When you give a dinner or supper, do not ask your friends or brothers or relatives nor rich neighbors, lest they also invite you back and you be repaid. But when you give a feast, invite the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed, because they cannot repay you, for you shall be repaid at the resurrection of the just. It's good. I like it. I like that. Seems like none of you like that. None of you in here. All right. Now when one of those who sat at the table with him heard these things, he said to him, Blessed is he who shall eat bread in the kingdom of God. Who sat at the table with him heard these things. He said to him, Blessed is he who shall eat bread in the kingdom of God. Then he said to him, A certain man gave a great supper and invited many, and sent his servant at supper to say to those who were invited, Come, for all things are now ready. But they all with one accord began to make excuses. The first said to him, I have bought a piece of ground, and you must go and see it. I ask you to have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen. Hey, no, that is not yours. No. My dog wants what I got the phone sitting on. No, absolutely not. No. Come on, dude. You can't have it. These puppies. No. Jerk of a dog. That dog, man. No, you can't have this. No. All right, sorry about that, folks. Rich and pleasant. But they all, with one accord, began to make excuses. The first said to him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must go and see it. I ask that you have me excused. Still another man said, I have a married wife, and therefore I cannot come. So that servant came and reported these things to the master. Then the master out of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in here the poor, the maimed, the lame, and the blind. And the servant said, Master, it is done as you commanded, and still there is room. Then the master said to the servant, go out into the highways, hedges, and compel them to come in, and that my house may be filled. No. What is with you? Absolutely not. He is not cooperating with me. For I say to you that none of those men who were invited shall taste my supper. Now great multitudes went with him, and he turned and said to them, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, wife, children, brothers, sisters, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. It's odd. And whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intending to build a tower, does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it, lest after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king going to make war against another king does not sit down and first consider whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him who comes against him with 20,000? Or else, while the other is still a great way off, he sends a delegation and asks conditions of peace. So likewise, whoever of you does not forsake all he has cannot be my disciple. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land nor for the dunghill, but men throw it out. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. Feels like burn the boats, right? Like when the conquistadors did all their stuff right, wrong, they did it, right? And they were met with all this big army, and he's like, all right, you're gonna burn the boats. And his army's like, what? We have an unstoppable force right here. And they're like, yeah, I'm burning the boats. Now you got no choice but to win, right? That's kind of what he's saying there. If you're doing stuff for me, Jesus says, if you're doing it for me, you just start doing it. Everything else will work. Most of the time, you're going to count the cost and everything like that. But in my case, you better just go. That's a tough one. All right. Looks like we will be at Luke 15 tomorrow. And yeah, that was one of my favorites. Have a good one. God bless.